Hey, this is Paul, and thanks for checking out our little potting soil experiment. So as you can see, I'm comparing sand, our rare dragon fruit mix, native soil, which is a lot of decomposed granite, sunshine mix number 4, which I like to root my dragon fruit, but not necessarily grow them long term, Kellogg's palm, cactus, and citrus mix, Miracle-Gro's version of palm and cactus mix, and then Fox Farms Ocean Forest, which was recommended when I started, and I realized that this is no good. So I actually shook them recently, so they're a little opaque, but they were clear earlier. And I want to kind of describe to you what I've noticed as they've been in these mason jars. These different soil types have been in the mason jars now for about 2 weeks. So I'll show you which one I like, which one I think is good for long term, and which one I would recommend staying away from and why. So let's get set up here and let's take a closer look at these different potting soils. Okay, so up first is Fox Farms Ocean Forest. Now it's mainly compost. Half of it is ground up dead trees, as Gary would say, and it's their most popular potting soil. It's aged forest products, peat moss, earthworm castings, bat guano, fish emulsion, and crab meal. Now they do say there's some sandy loam, but it's very little. I can barely see any sand in it. So a lot of perlite you can see, a lot of compost up top. It is separated, and then there's a lot of dark organic matter. And this one took the longest to kind of clear the water. And I'm interested to see what this smells like when it opens up, if it's kind of more anaerobic or smells rotten. But man, there's some really big wood chips in there, and this is Fox Farm. So definitely, I would not recommend using this. When I started, it was recommended, and I had a lot of problems by about season 3, season 4. So probably good to root dragon fruit would be fine, but do not grow this in long term. I see very little sand in this mixture. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, up next is Miracle-Gro Cactus, Palm, and Succulent Potting Mix. And the main ingredient in this one is compost as well. So they call it a crafted blend of forest products. In addition, it has peat moss, sand, and perlite, and then a wetting agent, I believe. So you can see it's separated quite a bit, not too much perlite, and mainly a lot of compost and peat moss, it looks like, based off of this. I do not see sand. I saw it did say sand is an ingredient, maybe a little bit. There's some sand, but not much. So I would not use this one for long term. Again, it would probably be fine to root dragon fruit plants, but long-term potting soil, this one, not good. Very little sand, a lot of compost, a lot of ground up dead trees. So let's move on and see the next one. Okay, up next is Kellogg's Organics Palm, Cactus, and Citrus mixture, this potting soil. The ingredients, its main ingredient is recycled forest products, which is compost, then pumice, sand, Burke fines, dehydrated poultry manure, and hydrolyzed feather meal. So those last ingredients are going to be fertilizers, and you can see there isn't much compost sitting up top, but there is some down at the bottom. There's a lot more sandy loam in this, I would say, and I do like pumice more than perlite. You can see the pumice didn't float, it sinks. So not so bad. I would say this is one of the better potting mixtures for long term, but still, main ingredient is compost, and that can be a problem. So I still don't recommend using these. I recommend, actually, I like sand a lot. I'll show you that coming up, and then I'll show you our mixture here in a second. But let me show you some other things. Hold on. Okay, so check this out. This is our native soil. We live in San Diego, and it's very highly composed of DG. So a lot of DG, there's some organic matter, and it compresses really well. Almost too well. So I've grown dragon fruit in this native soil. You have to amend it really well, otherwise it just compresses too much and it gets really hard in the summer unless you keep it really, really moist. So I've tried growing dragon fruit in this soil. It's just too much DG in my experience, and it's kind of fine, really heavy. The roots can't really breathe as well. So let me show you what I would recommend instead of using our native soil. So this is my favorite potting mix to root dragon fruit, and it's Sunshine Mix number 4. Pro Mix works as well, but I prefer Sunshine Mix number 4. It has a lot of perlite, as you can see. It has lime, it has a wetting agent called Resilience, and its main ingredient is peat moss. So it's a lot of peat moss down there. There's no sand, it's lightweight. Absolutely great way with the mycorrhizal fungi in here to root your dragon fruit. I don't think I'd use this just straight up 100% as long-term potting soil. It tends to get a little hydrophobic and it kind of really shrinks over time, and the roots just get really crazy in it. But then it kind of expands and contracts like a sponge. So I would add a lot of maybe 50-50 sand, and the sunshine mix would work pretty well. Or you could use something like our rare dragon fruit mix here, which is what I really like using. And so you can see I have a lot of perlite, which is up top. I use peat moss, a lot of sand, and then I add humic acid, and I add some sunshine mix number 4. That's what I'm using these days. And so you look at all the sand in there, really nice amount, and a little bit of peat moss. It's a heavier mix, but what I like about using this perlite, and when I can, I get the chunky perlite number 4, the really big chunks. That's great. The bigger the better. But the good thing about perlite, you can see it floats, but it also adds, it kind of brings up the potting soil and kind of allows some oxygen to get to your root zone. So I like perlite. I like pumice a lot. I forgot, I should mention there's a lot of pumice in here as well. So pumice, sand, perlite, and sunshine mix number 4, humic acid, and biochar. So that's everything in here, and that's what I'm using for the most part. But I actually really like using straight sand the most. And you can see here, if you look really carefully, sand isn't just sand. You know, sand is comprised of the 3 ingredients of soil, which would be, if you look at the very top layer, that's clay, and then there's some bigger pieces, which is silt, and then there's going to be the sand. So if you flip it over, you can see really quickly that there's a bit of clay in there, which is going to have the micronutrients and everything. And man, I can't tell you enough how impressed I am. I have about 7 pots of just straight 100% sand. I use it at Home Depot, and the dragon fruit are loving it so far. Some are on their 3rd season now, 3rd year, using just straight sand. Now make sure you use the right sand, because not all sand is the same. This is washed and screened, and it says, it's a Quikrete brand, and it says that it's safe for potting soil. So definitely recommend. I'm having a lot of great results with sand, really like it. Our mixture is great as well, but the ingredients are harder to come by, more expensive. But sunshine mix number 4, you can get that in a lot of places. It's a great ingredient over peat moss, and the main reason why is it's already got the perlite, and it also has that mycorrhizal fungi. But man, be really careful when you start getting into those compost, forest products, soil. You can see it's just so different. Good for maybe 1 year, but really bad for the long term. So I hope that kind of helps share my little experiment that I was observing, just the different layers of the soil, these different potting soil mixtures, how they break down in water over time. And it's just really interesting. So I think the biggest aha moment I personally have was I was really impressed with the Kellogg's potting soil. So it has a lot of compost, like I said, but there's a lot of sand in there, and pumice. I think also the pumice instead of perlite. So Kellogg's mix seems to be okay. But again, I wouldn't recommend it just because the main ingredient still is composted forest products. Everything else should be fine in this mix. So there you go. Hope that helps a little bit. Hope you found this useful. Give us a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and take care.